Howdy, my name is Nonat, and today I'm going to teach you how to build balanced encounters in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Creating encounters is an integral part of campaign design. No matter what you're playing, you want to create interesting and balanced encounters that aren't too easy and aren't too hard, unless that's your goal. In Pathfinder 2e, it can be a bit hard to determine exactly how difficult an encounter may be for your party. When you first look at a creature's stat block in the bestiary, you may be overwhelmed by all of the information in front of you. Luckily, Pathfinder has a formula for determining the theoretical difficulty of an encounter. To create a balanced encounter, you'll need to assign an XP budget. Before we get into how the XP budget works, I want to explain how enemy experience is calculated. Experience is based on the difference between the party's average level and the creature's level. A creature of equal level to the party's average is always worth 40 experience. So, assuming you have a party of level 5 heroes, then a single level 5 creature would be worth 40 experience. Experience is calculated using this chart on page 489 of the core rulebook. Since single levels can offer extreme advantages, any creatures that are higher than the average party level pose a serious threat, and are thus worth much more experience. On the contrary, lower level enemies are much less of a threat, and thus are worth increasingly less experience. Determining which enemies to use and how many to add to an encounter is where the XP budget comes into play. First, take your party size. For our example, we'll say we have a party of 5 players. Next, figure out how difficult you want your encounter to be. The rulebook offers trivial, low, moderate, severe, and extreme as difficulty options. Finally, use the appropriate XP budget listed next to that difficulty and adjust it accordingly for your party size. Since we have a party size of 5, if we want to have a moderate encounter, we'll be given an XP budget of 100. 80 from the standard budget for a party of 4, and an additional 20 for having a 5th player. Another way to think about this is simply to multiply your party size by 10 for a trivial encounter, 15 for a low threat encounter, 20 for a moderate encounter, 30 for severe, and 40 for extreme. This will give you the appropriate XP budget for your encounter. At this point, using the creature experience I explained earlier, we can fill our XP budget. To bring all of this information together, I'm going to build an encounter for you. Let's assume our party of 5 level 3 heroes have entered a cave, and we want to give them a moderate, balanced encounter. Nothing crazy, just something to get them engaged and on their toes. With 5 players, we multiply that by 20 for moderate difficulty, giving us a 100 XP budget to spend on monsters. Since our party's average level is 3, we want to look around that level for enemies to add. If we look at page 350 of the Pathfinder bestiary, we can find every enemy sorted by level. Since they're in a cave, something like a direwolf would work perfectly. Being a level 3 creature, each direwolf would spend 40 XP of our budget, so let's drop 2 direwolves into the encounter. We still have 20 XP to spare, so we have multiple options. We could leave it at 2 direwolves, making the encounter a bit on the easy side. We could add a 3rd direwolf, increasing our XP budget to 120, a bit higher than we planned, though this would still be considered a moderate threat, just a bit harder. If we really want to hit that 100 XP budget exactly, we can add a regular wolf to the encounter. Since a regular wolf is level 1, 2 levels lower than the party average, it only adds 20 XP to the budget. So the 2 direwolves plus the regular wolf gives exactly 100 XP. And there we have a balanced encounter. Now remember, this difficulty is entirely subjective, and your party's composition or the arrangement of enemies can throw an encounter's balance totally out of whack. If your party of all melee player characters is suddenly beset by a group of archers on towers, even if these archers are technically a balanced encounter, the fact that they have high ground and a total advantage over the party shifts the balance in their favor. So always keep the party composition and enemy groups in mind when creating an encounter. Also, never feel like you have to abide by the XP budgets strictly. A fun way to make your party feel powerful is by throwing stronger foes at them, but picking enemies that are specifically weak to certain abilities your characters have. Consider throwing powerful plant elementals at your party so the wizard can decimate them with a fireball, or let your party figure out a way to get the jump on a powerful ogre. Even if it's 2 levels above them and the encounter is a severe threat, if your players are smart, they can sway the odds in their favor. The XP budget is a great way to consistently get balanced encounters in Pathfinder, but never be afraid to experiment. Sometimes it's fun to throw an enemy at your party just because you think it's cool. Though the party wasn't quite as thrilled after the TPK. Anyway, I hope I was able to explain the XP budget system in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Let me know in the comments if you've got any cool encounters planned, or tell me some of the awesome ones you've used in the past. I want to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, consider subscribing and ring the bell to know exactly when the next video goes live. In the description, there are links to both my Patreon, where I post bonus content once a week, as well as the community Discord, where you can talk to me and a bunch of other awesome RPG nerds. We talk Pathfinder, D&D, video games, and a bunch of anything else. It's a ton of fun. Anyways, that's all from me. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and until next time, no nat ones.